just something we said we're going to talk about tonight, which is the art of listening.
The art of listening.
The art of listening. One of the things that happens even on this show, Gregory and I were talking, we're like, so what is one of the things?
And in our relationship.
And in our relationship.
In our own relationship. It's like any art. Any art, you need to practice it. So there's different levels of any art. You know, there's playing chopsticks, and then there's playing Chopin on the piano. And but in the art of listening, we're finding that there are different levels of listening that have a person be more and more effective in their relationship. So did you want to?
Yeah. So one of the things that we've noticed, both in our relationship and in all of our relationships, this is even with your children, with your coworkers, with your family members, with your parents, with anybody, is that when somebody has something to say, usually how we listen to them is actually by realizing that we don't listen. And
so like if your wife says, I want to talk to you.
I want to talk to you.
Immediately, what are you listening?
Right. You listen, oh my God, I'm in trouble, right?
What did I do now?
So the answer, right? So the answer is, what's wrong, right?
Right.
That's not listening. That's reacting. Reacting is not listening. So the appropriate answer would
it's actually listening for what's wrong.
Yeah. So it's actually listening.
It's actually listening for what's wrong rather than just listening for what she has to say.
And then you're fixing something instead of really being interested. So the art of listening begins with really being interested in wanting to hear what someone else has to say. The only thing that there is to say is, please tell me more about that. Wow, I'm really interested. I'd really love to know. Is that what it's like for you? So how you know you've really listened to someone and how they know you really listened to someone is what?
Well, we were talking about it earlier, and I distinguished 4 different levels of listening that kind of go deeper and deeper, and like taking off the layers of an onion, and or something that you want to get to the core of. And you know, the very first level of listening would be just simply listening such that so that you could recreate or say back to them exactly what they said.
Right.
If not word for word, as close to that as possible that you could, so that they say this and you go, I understand, so what you're telling me is, and then you repeat back to them what they said. This lets them know that you're really tuned in and that you're listening. If you ever get in conversations where you notice that the person's saying the same thing 5 different ways, it's because they don't have a sense that you're listening. Now, you may be or you may not be. Probably you're not. Or else they wouldn't keep repeating themselves. So what you want to do is like give it back to them. Let them know, I heard what you said. What else? Or is there anything else about that? Those are magic words. Is there anything else you want to tell me about that?
Tell me more.
I see. So you're letting them know that you, over here in your world, understand what it's like over there in their world. You're not agreeing. You're not disagreeing. You're simply recreating, saying back to them, creating it for them, what they just said to you. Beyond letting them know that you heard them, like you heard the words and you're able to the point that you're actually able to give them back to them, say, this is what you said. Is that right? And they may correct you. They may say, no, that's not what I said. I said this. And you go, oh, I got it. You mean this. You said this. Yeah, okay, now I got it. Right. So that's first level. Second level is listening for the meaning or significance or perhaps the emotion or feeling that they're saying behind it. Oh, so you told me that. That must feel like this to you. Is that right? Or from what I understand, you feel happy about this, or you feel sad, or I sense some frustration, or some disappointment. So you give back to them what you're understanding also is the meaning or significance behind what they're saying, so that they can actually get that you heard what was not said.
Right.
You know, there's what's being said, but there's also all the things that are not being said, like the meaning or significance behind it. And by letting them know that you actually got that too, you take it to a deeper level. And you don't want to just assume anything. When I do this, I always say, so I understand that you said this, and that you must feel this way about it. Is that right? I ask them. I check in with them. Would it be accurate to say? I would say something like, would it be right to say that you feel frustrated or angry or happy or whatever it is that you're feeling about this.
Right.
And then I get some confirmation on that. Now we're on an even deeper level of communication that, that has a possibility of actually going someplace and getting something cleared up.
Right. One of the most important aspects of communication and relationship and love and intimacy is being able to listen. Talking, we can all do. Listening is an art. So we'll go to your phone calls and listen to...
It might even be fair to say that it is the most important part of communication. The person who's listening intently and receiving a communication is actually the person who has, I don't want to use the word power, so what would I say? The most influence in a relationship.
Yes, impact.
And in a conversation, because they're actually receiving something that they can do something with now. They can actually communicate in a meaningful way rather than having a knee-jerk reaction or a defensive response. They can actually hear what it's like over in that person's world, and because you care about them, you have a place to come from to deal with that rather than just reacting to what you think they might be saying, and to tell you the truth, you couldn't even remember what they said.
Right. But we'll
approach one other level then.
Yeah.
We'll approach one other level of listening, and that is when you've gotten good at recreating what somebody said and then the feeling behind it. You want to begin, you want to begin to listen for what is it that they are committed to? What is it that they're standing for? What is it that they are really wanting to have happen out of communicating to this?
Yeah.
So a lot of times people will come to you with a complaint, and you'll hear the complaint, you say, I got it, you're not happy about this, and I can see that you're, and then the second level is I can see you're sad or upset and that you're disappointed about this. And then the third level would be to say something like this, what I'm really hearing is that you really want this to work. There's something that you're so committed to, that you want it to work, you want it to be great, and you don't know how to do it, and so you're upset and sad about it, and that's why you're saying this other thing. So I just want you to know that I know that you're somebody that's really committed to having this work out, having the relationship work out.
That you really love
and
me.
I want you to know I'm on your side about that.
Yeah.
I want it to work too.
Yeah.
And now this person who's complaining to you actually has a partner, and you haven't defended anything, you haven't
and they
changed
feel good about
anything.
themselves.
All you've done is gotten their thing, and from that place, there's a natural question that will arise. Is there anything that I can do for you? Or do you have a request? Do you need something from me or want something from me that I can do for you? Or, that's two questions. Another question is, what are you going to do about it?
Yes.